For this assignment, we have to sketch the graph of the function. So I'm giving you guys an equation there. So for question number 7, example number 7, I have 1/2 x minus 2 all squared minus 2. Ooh, first of all, let me find the vertex. I know how to find the vertex in here. Based on the value inside the parentheses, remember I have to switch the sign. So my vertex is 2, and then my y value is this number at the end, -2. So my vertex is 2, -2. It's right there. And then looking at the first sign, looking at the first numbered, it's a positive number. It's a fraction, but it's a positive number. So I'm expecting this to be opened up. All right, let's take a look. My equation is y is equal to 1/2 x minus 2 all squared minus 2. So I'm going to create a table of x and y values. My vertex, I'm going to put it somewhere in the centered. So I'm going to think of 2, -2. That's my vertex in the center. So looking at the x value, let me subtract the 1. So 2 minus 1, and then minus 1. And then starting at my 2, let me add a 1. So 3 and 4. So I came out with 5 values of my x. And then I'm going to think of the corresponding y values. So let me work this out. What would be if my x value is 3? So that will give me 1/2 times 1 squared minus 2. Okay, so 1/2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2 minus 2. Okay, my answer is a fraction here, right? So in my case, let me write it as a decimal. Isn't 1/2 the same thing as 0.5? 0.5 minus 2, isn't that negative 1.5? So I have a negative 1.5 here and a negative 1.5 here. Remember how I said that on a quadratic function, the y values repeat on each side of the vertex? Okay, so that one wasn't bad. Let me come up with the other values. Now, what if x is equal to 4? So let me replace a 4 there. So I'm looking at 1/2 times 2 squared minus 2. Right, I did the parentheses first. Now 2 squared, isn't that 4? 4 times 1/2, right? The half of 4, isn't that 2? Minus 2 is equal to 0, so I have a 0 here and a 0 here. So I can easily plot my points. 0, 0, 1, negative 1.5. I have my vertex. 3, negative 1.5, 4, 0. So I'm going to say this thing looks like that. Find your vertex, and from your vertex, find 2 points on each side. All right, let's take a look at another one. Question number 8. What's my vertex? My vertex is 3, 2. Because remember, I changed the value on the x and leave this number at the end by itself. So 3, 2. And then looking at my first symbol, it's a negative. It's a negative number. So this thing is opening down. So I already have a good idea how this thing looks like. It's opening down. My equation is y is equal to -2 x minus 3 squared plus 2. That's my equation. Let me create a table here. I'm going to create a table of X and Y values. My vertex somewhere here in the center. So from X values 3 to 1, right? I subtracted 1 from each. From X values 3, I'm going to get 4 and 5. I add 1 to each. All right, so what if X equals 4? So that's going to give me -2, 4 minus 3 squared plus 2. So that's basically -2. Actually, let me show you guys like this instead. I said, what if my X is equal to 4? Notice how I changed the X for a 4. So that gives me -2 times 1 squared plus 2. The 1, because I did the parentheses, 4 minus 3. So this is -2 times 1 plus 2. Because 1 squared, right? 1 times 1 is 1. So -2 times 1 is -2 plus 2 is 0. Okay, so I got y-intercepts. I mean x-intercepts, which is good. But I need other points too. What if x equals 5? Let me erase this because this is for my work. Then I say, well, what if x is equal to 5? So that gives me -2 times 2 squared plus 2. So that's -2 times 4 plus 2. So when I multiply this first, -2 times 4 is -8. -8 plus 2 is -6. So I can plot those points. 1, -6 is right here. 2, 0. I have my vertex 3, 2. Have the point 4, 0, and 5, -6. So this thing looks like this. Oh, pretty cool. Let's try question number 9. What's my vertex? My vertex is -4, 3. So when I create my table of x's and y's, my -4, 3 is in the center. So here I'm going to do -5, -6, -3, -2. And then my equation is y is equal to 2 times x plus 4 squared plus 3. First thing I'm going to do is, what if x equals, oh, I could either try -5 or -3. It doesn't matter. Let's try -3. I tried to try the bigger numbers because that way I'm going to deal with positives if possible. So what if x is equal to -3? That's going to give me 2. Now, -3 plus 4 is 1 squared plus 3. So I have 2 times 1 plus 3. Because remember, 1 squared is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3 is 5. So 5 here and 5 here. That's a cool thing of quadratics, that you actually get 2 points at the same time. Now, what if x is equal to -2? So it's going to give me 2 times 2 squared plus 3. Notice I did the parentheses, -2 plus 4 is 2. So that's why I have a 2. Now let me do the exponents. 2 squared is 4. So I have 2 times 4 plus 3. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So let me see. My first point is -6, 11. -5, 5. Notice how I didn't have a -5, but it's in between -4 and -6. -4, 3 is right here. -3, 5. And then -2, 11. Pretty cool. I can come up with that. Lastly, let me take a look at question number 10. Let me find my vertex. My vertex is -2, -1. Okay. So when I create a table here, my -2, -1 is in the center. So for my x values, I'm going to choose -3, -4, and then -1, 0. And my equation is y is equal to x plus 2 squared minus 1. So first thing I'm going to try is what if y is equal to negative? What if x equals -1? So my parenthesis is 1 squared minus 1. 1 squared is 1, minus 1 is 0. So I get a 0 here and a 0 here. Okay, my next thing I want to try is what if x is equal to 0, right? I'm checking this point right here at the bottom. So I have 2 squared minus 1. I know 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I get a 3 here and a 3 here. Good. Let me plot my point. So -4, 3 is right here. -3, 0, it's right here. -2, -1, -1, 0, and then 0, 3. Good. That's it. Now this assignment, I know it's entertaining, so we should do this assignment 2 days in a row. 2 assignments are going to look the same.